News at 11, everyone. I'm Rick Ritter. It is a busy night with a lot going on, but let's start with developments in Howard County, where more than 40 people, you heard that right, had to be hospitalized after suffering food poisoning in Jessup. WJZ on your corner in Howard County tonight. Christina Mendez has more on the investigation into how this happened.
A bird's eye view of a business complex in Jessup Monday shows the spot where dozens of people reported food poisoning symptoms. It was just before 4 p.m. when Howard County Fire and Rescue reports getting the call for help along Chesapeake Bay Court. First responders confirm 46 adults went to area hospitals, all in non-critical condition. Fire officials say the patients reported eating the same food from a distributor, but did not confirm the company name or what was consumed. The Howard County Health Department is investigating the case. At this time, the agency says it believes this was an isolated incident. WJZ did reach out to several businesses that operate out of the complex. We are waiting to hear back. For WJZ, I'm Christina Mendez.
The state health department is now investigating the incident. They say it appears unintentional and isolated. Ambulances crowded the emergency room entrance at Howard General Hospital Monday afternoon. Another patient shared these pictures with us. 46 people were taken to the hospital with food poisoning. Officials say all are okay.
If we can get samples of the food themselves or the food itself and test it in our laboratories, and then we will also look at specimens from individuals who have sought medical care in order to identify the causal agent or agents.
The state health department is investigating the incident that happened at the NAFCO seafood complex in Jessup. But investigators do not believe the contaminated food came from NAFCO. Rather, someone brought in a noodle dish to share with coworkers. About an hour later, people started getting sick. The health department says it will take time to determine what exactly caused the illness.
It's not just pathogens that are always involved. Sometimes it's a combination of a bacteria or a virus combined with some viruses and pathogens also produce chemicals, toxins, that will cause a faster reaction.
Stanley Pearlman Enterprises, NAFCO's parent company, put out a press release Tuesday reiterating that the food in question did not come from their facility, stating NAFCO operates under the highest health and safety standards in the industry. Our headquarters and facilities are regularly inspected and monitored by the relevant health authorities to ensure compliance with all health and safety regulations. Health officials believe this is an isolated incident and there is no further risk to the public.
Most of these involve people who are legitimately not trying to cause other people to be sick, but instead just not following food safety rules. We emphasize the importance of making sure that foods that are supposed to be hot stay hot. Foods that are supposed to stay cold.
For more food safety tips from the health department, you can find a link on our free mobile app. In Jessup, Kim Dacey, WBAL TV 11 News.
On McDonald's this hour, the CDC says it is investigating an E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's Quarter Pounders, with 49 cases, 10 hospitalizations, and 1 death across 10 states. McDonald's shares falling sharply in after-hours trading. And joining us now on the newsline is former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb. He's also a CNBC contributor. Dr. Gottlieb, thanks so much for lending us your expertise here. You say this is a very serious infection. How are you judging that?
Well, the number of cases, 49 cases, where you're seeing 10 hospitalizations and 1 death already, that suggests that this may be infection with what we call hemorrhagic E. coli, which is a serious and life-threatening infection. Symptoms usually begin 3 to 4 days after exposure, so it's not clear how early we are in the course of the exposure and how many people might have been exposed. There may still be cases that become identified. McDonald's has good supply chain management. I had worked with them on an outbreak of foodborne illness, not as severe as this when I was at FDA. They should be able to localize where these quarter pounders, this meat was distributed, and how many people could have potentially been exposed, and pull that from the market to make sure that there's no further exposure. They should be able to do that very quickly. For consumers who may have eaten there or be worried about this, just by way of background on the syndrome, The symptoms usually include abdominal pain and diarrhea. The diarrhea can turn bloody, and that's why they call it hemorrhagic E. coli. In about 90% of patients, it will turn bloody after about 3 days. And it can be life-threatening. It leads to a complication called hemolytic uremic syndrome, which can cause rapid deterioration in blood counts. It can cause failure of the kidneys. Care for this is generally supportive, so just supportive care to help the patient get through it. Antibiotics typically don't help.
Yeah. Dr. Gottlieb, a few questions for you here wrapped into one. The first is, what can cause this type of strain of E. coli? And as you just touched on McDonald's supply chain, how quickly then could you potentially see something, could you see affected meat pulled in light of that and see the outbreak in general worked through the population and this chapter behind the company?
Well, we don't know when the exposure was and how long it's been going on. I would expect that it's probably something that happened fairly recently in terms of when it got into the supply chain and when people got exposed to it, assuming that it is this particular strain of E. coli, because, again, these cases would manifest fairly quickly within 3 to 4 days, and they're severe enough that they would present for treatment. I think that's what you're seeing with 10 hospitalizations and 49 identified cases. So these people would present pretty quickly. Now, these could be the tip of the iceberg. These could be people who were exposed 3 or 4 days ago, and you're going to see other people present who were exposed subsequent to that. I think McDonald's can localize the supply of contaminated meat fairly quickly by looking at the stores where people reported eating who got sick and be able to pull that from the market. And I think that some of the reports suggest they're doing that right now.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth, as well as much respect and honors to the brothers that are pushing this truth in sincerity across the four winds of this earth and risking their lives and freedom to do so. I would also like to give much honors and respect to the brothers and sisters that are of the hopeful elect that are doing their very best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High to the best of their abilities. Shalom. As you saw in the news clippings that I just shared with you, I actually shared 3 news clippings with you. And the first 2 are actually relating to the same incident. The first 2 news clippings that I just shared with you, this was actually an incident that took place here in Maryland. I want to say in Jessup, Maryland. And this was at a seafood distribution center where you had, I think more than 40 people. They became ill after eating some food. I believe it was a dish or something that somebody may have brought in. I don't think it was actually relating to the food that was that's being, manufactured, at this seafood distribution center. However, I will say this right here, Israel, and when I say Israel, I'm talking about you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and those that are of the speckled bird that look like these other nations, but you go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob on your father's side. Israel, we do not supposed to be eating, crabs and lobsters and shrimp and stuff like that. We're not supposed to be eating that type of stuff. Those are an abomination unto you. Okay, I just want to put that out there. However, according to this article, these first 2 news clippings that I shared with you, however, they're saying that it wasn't related to, I guess the food that's being, distributed at this seafood distribution center. I believe it was dealing with some type of, food or some type of dish. I think they said some noodles or something like that someone may have brought in, that maybe wasn't prepared properly, and as a result, a lot of people, got sick, okay, after eating it. Okay, I think they said more than 40 people got sick, and this just goes to show you that you can't be eating everybody's food. You can't be eating everybody's cooking, okay? And it also goes to show you that, over here, in Babylon the Great, we're eating the foul food over here, okay? But, again, you can't be eating everybody's, cooking everybody's food because, not everybody, puts, sanitary or cleanliness, on the top of the menu, okay? Now, the third article that I shared with you was relating to I believe it was an E. coli breakout, that was dealing with that was coming from some food that's being served at McDonald's. Okay, and I think they said that this has happened. The latest article that I saw, they said that 12 states, were affected by this E. coli breakout. Okay, and it was dealing with some I guess burgers that's being sold at Mickey D's. Okay, now I will say this right here, Israel, you need to stay away from places like Mickey D's. Okay, because when you're eating at places like Mickey D's, you're eating the worst of the worst. Okay, places like Mickey D's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, places like that. You need to stay clear of them places. Okay, here it is. It's even come out that places like Mickey D's, they found human DNA in the food that's being served at places like Mickey D's. Okay, and so again, when you're eating at these places like Mickey D's, like I said, you're eating the worst of the worst. And what you're doing is, by eating at places like Mickey D's and Taco Bell and places like that, you're basically setting yourself up to have your health compromised. Okay, but again, this just goes to show you, that over here in Babylon the Great, we're eating defiled food. Okay, but again, with that being said, you should do your due diligence, Israel, to try to eat as healthy as you can. Okay, and again, stay clear of these places like Mickey D's, okay? Because here it is. There's been so many reports that have come out, of people, becoming ill, after eating at places like Mickey D's and Taco Bell and Wendy's and whatnot, okay? Because again, it ain't no telling what these devils are putting in that food. Like I was saying, here it is. It has come out that human DNA has been found in the food that's been served at places like Mickey D's, okay? And so, with that being said, Israel, you should always, do your due diligence to try to, eat as healthy as you can. Myself personally, what I do is I try to do, very little eating out. I try to, do more cooking. Okay. And when I go go grocery shopping, I try to do my, I try to put forth a conscious effort, to try to, to try to eat as healthy as I can, to try to buy the best that I can afford. What I do is a lot of times, I try to read the back of labels. I try to read, what's in the ingredients, and if it's something that looks fishy or something that looks off to me, something that I can't look up and see what it is, I stay clear of it, But again, I try to put forth a conscious effort to try to eat as healthy as I can and to try to buy the best that I can afford. But again, as I was saying, everything is defiled over here. But, you should put forth, a conscious effort to try to at least buy the best of the worst. OK, and again, when you go into places like Mickey D's, you're getting the worst of the worst. OK, OK. Now, here it is. I'm not saying that I don't go out or that I don't eat at restaurants. I do from time to time. But when I do, go out and eat at restaurants, I try to go to a good quality restaurant. OK, and I try to stay and I stay clear of places like, as I was saying, Taco Bell, Mickey D's, because, again, eating in places like that right there, all you're doing is just setting yourself up to have your health compromised. OK, and so, I saw these articles and I just thought that I would do a quick lesson on it. I'm going to go ahead and bring out a couple of scriptures and then we go into in the lesson. OK, this is the book of Isaiah, and this is chapter 24. This is verse 4 that I want to start in. And it reads, the earth mourned and faded away. The world languished and faded away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Okay, and see, the world is currently in a weakened state because of Esau, Edom, starting with these elite bankers that are currently in rulership. Esau, Edom, he's the wicked, and he's doing everything contrary to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. This devil, he's defiling everything from the food, to the air, to the water. Okay, and this is why you got people getting sick. Okay, this is why people, are perishing. Okay, because this devil, he's intentionally defiling everything. Okay, this devil, he wants to keep people in a sick and weakened state. Okay, so, he wants to keep people, sick and at a low state. Okay, and then also he wants to keep people in and out of, the healthcare system. Okay, to feed big pharma's pockets and whatnot. Okay, but, because you got the wicked that are currently in rulership, the people are in a weakened state because of these devils. The wildlife, the sea life, the plant life is in a weakened and mourning state because of Esau. This devil Esau has the entire earth in a weakened and mourning state. Okay, this devil, he's unfit to rule because he rules in wickedness. And again, this is why you're having people getting sick after eating the food. Okay, because this devil, he puts all types of harmful chemicals and GMOs and things like that into the food. And this devil, he wants to have people, again, like I was saying, in a weakened state. He wants to see people fall. Okay, he wants people to perish. This devil, he actually wants to depopulate. He wants to do away with, I want to say, so many billions of people. Here it is. I mean, not so long ago, they had those Georgia Guidestones up to where they were saying they want the earth, population to be at 500 million, and I think the earth's population is at around maybe 8 billion or so. And so they want to do away with over 7 billion people, But this devil, he rules in wickedness. He's unfit to rule, Isaiah chapter 24, this is verse 5. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Okay, and the everlasting covenant is this word. Okay, because Esau does everything against the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Esau, he says that it's okay, for men to be with men, women to be with women. That's one of his many wicked philosophies that he pushes out, and that's totally going off. Okay, all that does is just bring nothing but confusion, disease, death, and destruction. The whole earth is defiled under these devils. This is why, here it is. You hear about, whales beaching themselves and whatnot. I saw a video not too long ago where you had a bunch of whales, okay, beaching themselves. Okay, because, there was so many, so much pollutants and things like that in the water and whatnot, And the whales, were beaching themselves as a result of it. Here it is. I saw where, they had to close some beaches down because, they were finding used, medical equipment and things like that into the water. They were finding needles and stuff like that, syringes, okay, at these beaches and whatnot. And so they were washing up at the shore because these devils, they were dumping all this used medical, equipment and stuff, into the ocean. Okay, and then it's washing up at the beach. These devils, they're unfit to rule. They're destroying the entire earth. And again, they want to see people fall. And so these devils, they're putting all these different, harmful things into the food and whatnot to try to keep people sick. To try to keep people in a weakened and low state. Okay, this is Ezekiel, and this is chapter 4, and this is verse 13, and it reads, and the Lord Yahweh Yahushua said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. Okay, and over here, in America, Babylon the Great, we're eating defiled food over here. Okay, and again, because this devil Esau, you got the wicked that are currently in rulership, and this devil Esau, he intentionally defiles the food over here, because again, he wants to keep people in a weakened and sick state. He wants to have people falling, okay? And he wants to have people, getting sick, from E. coli and cancer and whatnot. This is why this devil is intentionally defiling the food over here, It says, Ezekiel chapter 4, and this is verse 13 again. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Yahushua said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. And again, as I was saying earlier, these devils, Esau, they're defiling the food, okay? And this is why it's very important, Israel, for you to do your due diligence to try to eat as healthy as you can. This is why you got to be very selective, okay, when you, buying the food. And first and foremost, the most important thing, to do is, before you eat, you pray over your food, okay? Always pray over your food, because again, you don't know what these devils, are putting in the food, But again, you should always be very selective of what what you're eating or what you're buying. For your house to eat. You should always try to get the best. Okay. As I was saying earlier, everything is defiled over here, but you should at least try to get the best of the worst. Okay. Do your due diligence to try to eat as healthy as you can. Always pray over your food too. Always. Okay, this is Wisdom of Solomon. This is chapter 14, and this is verse 10. Well, let's go back. Let's get the previous verse. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 9. And it reads, "For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto the Most High." Let's get the next verse. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 10. It says, "For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it." Okay, and see, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua hates this devil Esau. Esau, he's is ungodly. Just look at what Esau is doing. Esau, he's defiling everything. Okay, he's defiling the food over here, keeping people in a sick and weak state. Okay, Esau, he's destroying the earth. Okay, he's destroying the earth he's destroying the people. Okay, by polluting everything. Okay, from the food, to the air, to the water. Okay, he's dumping all types of trash and waste and things like that into the water, harmful chemicals into the water. He's putting all types of harmful chemicals and GMOs and things like that into the food. Like I say, the earth is in a weakened and mourning state because of these devils. The wildlife, the sea life, the plant life, they're all in a weakened and mourning state because this devil Esau, he's polluting the earth. And again, the people are in a weakened state because this devil, he's defiling the food. Here it is. You have animals, that are now extinct because of this devil Esau. This devil Esau has a great judgment coming to him very soon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 10. It says, "For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it." Okay, again, this devil Esau, he has a great judgment coming to him, because, this devil, like I say, he rules in wickedness, and he's defiling he's defiling everything. He's defiling the food, the air, the water, he's literally destroying the entire earth. Okay, this is my last scripture, and then we're going to end the lesson. And this is Micah, and this is chapter 2, and this is verse 1. And it reads, "Woe unto them that devise iniquity, that work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands." Okay, and see, this devil Esau, he's devising iniquity and works of evil because he's currently in the power seat. As I was saying, this is why you're having, a lot of recalls on food, due to pesticides and whatnot. Okay, this is why you're having people that are becoming ill, and sick, after eating the food, over here, in Babylon the Great. Here it is. I want to say it was last week. They did a recall on over 10 million pounds of meat. Okay. I saw, and I think, they were doing this recall was affecting, a lot of the like ready-made foods and whatnot, like, chicken wraps and things like that, ready-made salads. And this food was being sold at places like, I think, Trader Joe's, I think was one of them. There was a couple other places as well, too. But again, this devil Esau, he's devising works of evil. Okay, he's intentionally, trying to defile the food. Okay, and then also, too, this devil, he's also trying to create food shortages. He's trying to create famine. Okay, because this devil, what he's trying to do is he's trying to come up with an order out of chaos. This devil, he's trying to create a problem. Okay, to try to get the people's reaction, and to try to get the people to beg for a solution. And he already has the solution already. I'm saying? This devil has the solution already, but that ultimate solution that this devil has is not going to benefit you, Israel. Okay, because this devil's ultimate solution is going to be that MO to the T to the B. That C hip, that implantable grain of rice that he's going to try to force everyone to get. And if you get that, Israel, the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to destroy you. Micah chapter 2 and verse 1 again, it says, "Woe unto them that devise iniquity and works of evil upon their bed. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands." Okay, and again, this devil Esau, he's devising works of evil. He's devising iniquity. Okay, because again, he's currently in the power seat. But, this devil, he doesn't have much longer. This devil, his rulership is literally falling right before our eyes. And it's going to fall, And once this devil falls, this devil, he's going to go into hardcore bondage, and after 1,000 years of hardcore bondage, this devil is going to be eradicated off the face of the earth, but again, Esau's kingdom is literally falling right before our eyes, and it's going to fall very soon, Lord willing. And so that's pretty much the point. I'm going to go ahead and end off here. I hope it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Kwam Yasharala and Abba Baba. Shalom.